In Indian polity, we are going to discuss about significance of fundamental rights. So, fundamental rights are constitute the bedrock of the Indian democratic system. Okay, so fundamental rights are like bedrock. Here, bedrock means fundamental principle or important principle. Okay, so these are formed as a bedrock for the Indian democratic system. And fundamental rights are providing necessary conditions for the material and moral protection of man. Okay, so these are providing necessary conditions for the protection of individuals material and moral conditions. Okay, and fundamental rights are served as a formidable bulwark of individuals liberty. Here formidable means powerful, bulwark means defensive wall. So fundamental rights are act as a formidable bulwark of individuals liberty. Okay, and they facilitate the establishment of rule of law in the country. Rule of law means equality before law. Okay, so the rule which is equal for all citizens. Okay, and we can say this rule of law is against the arbitrary power in India. Okay, so fundamental rights are against the arbitrary rule, and they protect the interests of the minorities and weaker sections of the society. Okay, for giving some important or fundamental rights to each and every citizen. So these fundamental rights can protect the interests of the minorities and weaker sections of the society, especially equality before law. Okay, and they strengthen the secular character of India. Okay, so according to right to freedom of religion, so under this article each and every person can interfere their own religion. Okay, so there is no restrictions for their own religion. So these type of fundamental rights can secure the secular feature of the Indian state. Okay, and they protect the lay down the foundation for the social equality and social justice in these fundamental rights. Okay, so fundamental rights can check the authority of the government whether it is right or wrong. Okay, and they ensure the dignity and respect of individuals. It means it increasing the dignity and respect of individuals. Okay, and they facilitate the participation of people in the political and administrative process. By using fundamental rights we can interfere, we can participate in political and administrative process. Okay, so these are the significance of fundamental rights. Okay, so fundamental rights are very fundamental in nature, and these are very important for each and every citizen, and we can say these are the essentials to citizens. Okay, so articles 12 to 35 under part 3 which deals about the fundamental rights. So first article is article 12, generally talks about definition of a state. Okay, so the entire meaning of the state which was incorporated in this article 12. Okay, because in fundamental rights we will see the article state, so the meaning of a state was incorporated in this article 12. So article 12 state term is wider sense. Okay, so our constitution given four definitions for the state term. Okay, first one is government and parliament. Here government means executive. So under executive organ there are council of ministers who are headed by the prime minister. Okay, coming to the parliament, so parliament means legislature. Under legislative organ Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha were there with president. Okay, so these are comes under the state term. And the next definition is a government and a legislative of the states. Here executive, government means executive. Executive means council of ministers who are headed by the chief minister, and a legislative organ of a state means state legislative assembly and a state legislative council with governor. Okay, and third one is all local authorities. All local authorities means municipalities, panchayats, district boards, etc. These bodies comes under the state term. Okay, under Article 12. And statutory bodies. So statutory bodies means non-constitutional bodies because these are not present in the constitution, but they were formed by the act of parliament. Okay, and non-statutory authorities means these are also not present in the constitution, but they are formed by the executive action. It means government's action. Okay. According to Supreme Court, it said that private body or private agency which works under the state or which works for the state, this particular private body also comes under the state point of view. Okay, so that particular private body comes under the state term under Article 12. Okay, coming to the Article 13. Article 13 is laws which are inconsistent or derogation with fundamental right, that law should be null and void. Okay, so a law, if any law which violates the fundamental rights, any of the fundamental rights or derogation of any of the fundamental rights, that law should be null and void under Article 13. Okay, so indirectly or directly it says that doctrine of judicial review will follow. Okay, for the violate, if any fundamental right is violated by any law, so that particular law should be null and void, which was the statement given by the courts by using the doctrine of judicial review. Okay, so this power was given to the Supreme Court and High Courts. Under Article 1332, the power was given to Supreme Court, and 226, the power was given to the High Courts. So they can declare a particular law unconstitutional or invalid on the ground of fundamental rights controversy. So here we are talking about the laws. Okay, so the law is wider sense. That's why our constitution given the meaning and definition of the law in this article. Okay. So law means permanent laws also. So permanent laws which are enacted by the parliament. It means Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. And permanent laws enacted by the state legislature in the point of a state. Okay. So with the state legislative assembly and council. So these are the permanent laws which comes under the law point of view. Okay. And temporary laws. Temporary laws means ordinances. Okay, so these temporary laws issued by the president or state governors. Okay, so whenever a Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha or a state legislative assembly or state legislative councils were not in session, the parliament, it means president can issue these ordinances. Okay, if immediate changes regarding. Okay, so that lifetime of ordinance is 6 months 6 weeks. So these are also comes under the law point of view. Okay, and the statutory instruments, orders, bylaws, rules, regulations, notifications. So these are comes under the law point of view. So these statutory instruments are not present in the constitution, but they are formed by the act of parliament. Okay, and non-legislative sources of law. Here non-legislative means judgments. So the judgments in famous cases, we can follow those judgments. Okay. So Article 13 generally talks about constitutional amendment is not a law. Okay, so constitutional amendment is not a law, and which is not comes under the law point of view under Article 13. Okay, so Supreme Court held that in Keshavananda Bharati case 1973, according to 368 article of the Indian Constitution, the Parliament has the power to amend the Constitution. Even fundamental rights also they can amend, but without touching the basic structure. So this was the famous judgment which was given in the Keshavananda Bharati case by the Supreme Court in 1973. So we are also following this famous judgment. Okay, that's why this also comes under the law point of view. If any, if a basic structure is violated, so this particular law shall be null and void, because we are following the judgment which was given in the Keshavananda Bharati case also. Okay.